All. Game of Rutzel today against robingbos. I assume, not the verb robing boss. Right, let's say hello and get going. What an opening hand. Oof, full of operations. I could probably afford to purge. So yeah, open 4-4-2, purge them, hope to score Europe, scoring, hold one of our 4-up cards against blockade, and if we do, we space decall, otherwise we hold decall. Shout out to the viewers already. What an obliging guest. Very good. Probably won't be so happy watching it back seeing how disgustingly good my opening hand is, but there we go. Yeah, I mean, Purge looks like the one, right? Because either I drop Europe scoring for 0, which seems very risk averse, or we do Olympic Games, which is just. Ugh. 4-4-2. I say we go on the offensive. Dropping Europe for 0 is like just painfully shy, I would say. Although, also, think about it out loud. If we purge them and we counter coup, we then don't have a 4-up card to fill France to get Europe scoring. But they may fail their first coup. We may not need to coup. We may blah 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 be able to repair Iran. And we may still drop Europe for 0 after all that as well. And purging them just hurts, right? Olympic Games doesn't hurt. Some of the times they get the 2 VP. So yeah. Let's go 4-4-2. And let's purge them. Be aggressive. Truman, IR, OG, decall, and purge, and Truman, Europe scoring, yeah. Oh, and they nassered, so we must give our apologies. So yeah, counter coup Iran, or if they fail to coup it successfully, take France and repair Iran. Let's see what they do under purge, because there's a lot of moving parts. 1-op coups are the way to go, apparently. Apparently they're the way to go. Boy howdy. Right, well, we will counter coup then. And let's hope it's more than a 1. Okay. So we will have to tickle France a couple of times to get to Europe scoring, but we do have Truman Doctrine if they do anything shonky with de Gaulle. Because we now need to hold nuclear test ban against blockade until we see it. But that, in a way, that's good, right? One of my major indisciplines that I'm very aware of that other people do is saving a 4-op card to do something with on AR6 as USA. So at least under these circumstances, I'm forced to do it. Well, ditching CIL is good. 5-year plan, US, Japan, Korean, Suez, Cambridge 5. Korean, Suez, Cambridge 5. Now, the downside for them is that we now have perfect information. CIA is gone. So we will put one into Malaysia, while DEFCON is reasonably high. I'm alright with DEFCON being at 3 for now, especially knowing their hand. Yep. We can afford to be reticent for the time being. Like, worst case scenario is they event Cambridge 5, take France, and control it. But they may have other plans. Well, we're in business. Great. So we will go. Now Cambridge 5 is gone. 3 into Europe. And 1 into Thailand. We may get Suez here. He'd be wise to. Very wise. Regrettable, but efficient. AR4, AR5, AR6. So we will pop 2 back into France. So after all that, we may not dominate Europe, which is quite entertaining. But, you know, maybe they'll take a coup in Iran here and feel sassy. Excuse me. They've got 5-year plan, US, Japan, and Korean War left. Yeah, just going to take Korea. Straight swap. So let's see if they take a coup to finish. Let's invite them to decide between taking the coup or giving us 2 VP for Milops. Because they can just tap West Germany here, but then they'll lose 2 VP for Milops anyway. But it's a 3 VP swing for them. And DEFCON goes up to 4 and they can try and coup Thailand and blah blah blah. So they've got some outs here. Yeah, okay, that's good for us in a way. Even with the result the way it is. Doing well with those 1-op coups. Alright, Middle East scoring can't get any worse. So now's the time to pitch it. And if they take a coup, we can cover Pakistan and Thailand. We've got into Pakistani war, which is great. Dealt into another pretty manageable hand. Warsaw and de Gaulle. So Warsaw we can event. De Gaulle we can hold for. So the big risk is that they have D-Star. Good, I can go with East European and West. The Middle East scoring can go with NASA having been played. Well, Fidel's no bad headline when you're already CIA out the deck and in Panama. Let's see if they take a coup. And if they do, we'll do our best to shore up Asia. So coup Iran here. Or maybe just jam with the China card. But coup D style seems like a reasonable and likely line. And they've got 5-year plans. They can ditch Asia scoring if we do dominate, but they do still need to respond and try and keep in the game in Asia. A really successful Iran coup is very dangerous for us now we're not in Israel. Having a think. Yep, here it comes. That's great for us. So we will overprotect Pakistan, take Thailand, and move into Angola before D-Style. That'll do. So if they don't have D-Star, we want to push into Zaire and Algeria this turn. If they do have D-Star, we'll see how we respond. We also need to push into Iraq and then Jordan from Iran to make sure we don't get cleaned out the Middle East. And we can get Milops within the Pakistani war. So de Gaulle's our whole card against blockade, and Decoll's our whole card if we do not end up being blockaded. So 9 clean ops plus the Indo-Pakistani war for Milops. Well, we've not been wanting for operations points in the first 2 turns. So if I lose, it's entirely my fault, as it always is. But, you know, I feel like I'm being given as much of a gift as possible here. Very wise. We'll overtake France. So next up, we will move into Zaire and take Algeria. They used special relationship. Yep, yeah. So it looks like we have dodged D-Style this turn. They're off to space. Well done them. So we will tap Iraq and move into India. We move into India? We don't need to move into India yet, do we? Tap Iraq and overprotect Thailand against Decol. We're holding Decol. I guess overprotect Thailand. Sure. Sure. I don't know. I could see some shenanigans with Vietnam revolts and the China card. If not decol, if it goes back in the deck and we get blockaded, yada yada. So sure. Sure, why not? So of course, if we are unlucky this turn, they will 5-year plan Asia scoring. Yep. So the question is, do we take Saudi here? I think we do. I'm more concerned about Saudi than India because I do think they're going to 5-year plan. I think they're going to 5-year plan Asia, which means they're not going to tap Pakistan. And if they blockade us this turn, we can pitch to Gaul. If they don't blockade us this turn, I think we probably still event into Pakistani war to make sure we don't get blockaded by surprise in AR6 when they don't have Asia scoring and they don't use 5-year plan. They'll be able to level up here if they put 2 Czech, 2 Yugoslavia, but they probably won't because Independent Reds has been reshuffled. I think they'll probably just go 2 Poland, 2 East Germany. The usual. Yep. Interesting. Sensible, but regrettable for them. And we'll put one in there as well. So they're at 4 and we're at 5. So let's event into Pakistani war, get our Milops, but no VP. It happens. And now, are you blockading us or are you 5-yearing Asia? So if they blockade us, we space decol. If they 5-year plan, I guess maybe we event de Gaulle and redominate Europe by taking Portugal. Yeah, inevitable. And that's sensible. That's all good. Here comes Asia scoring. Yeah, boo. So it goes. So we will de Gaulle and we will repair, takes Portugal, and we have one other op. We will overprotect France against specifically, but very specifically, socialist governments and a 4-op card takes France, right? Goes down to 2 and goes up to 2-5. Yeah, so overprotect France against the very small risk. So, we know exactly what they have. They know exactly what we have. We got D-Style! Alright! Yeah! Take that. They've got Defectors and Formosa. If they get redealt Purge, we're in a big trouble. They've used Arab Israel. And they've got Vietnam Revolts? Yes. So they've got Blockade, Formosa, Defectors, and Vietnam Revolts. and we were redealt Truman, IPW, and Cambridge 5. This looks like a containment hand. To me, very much. Capture Nazi is the only really other option, and they've already got 2 VPs, so we can event it at some point in the turn if we want to. It's probably worth doing. I like containment there. Makes more things blockadable, which means we can then use an intervention D style for 4 ops, for example. And they know they can't be defected, so like Vietnam revolts, they might choose to do and run on Thailand, but we can just take 1 op battlegrounds to keep the pressure up. So blockade maybe. Vietnam revolts possibly, but unlikely. Unless they really think they can make a run at it. So one of their reshuffled cards is probably more likely. No, they're going VR. I guess it's just advantage in the absence of information. But we can make sure we take Lao just to make their life a little bit more difficult. And if they could run, at least we're in Saudi and Iraq now. But, you know, Angola's equally likely. Now, the sad thing is at some point we're going to have to use Cambridge 5, and they're going to know we're not holding any scoring cards. I kind of want to keep them nervous for a while. Okay, that's a good one for us because we can just now overprotect Angola. So let's overprotect Angola and move into Laos. That's fine. And Foremost has been triggered, so bear that in mind. That's worth another battleground. It now means we don't have to freak out about India. If they tap Pakistan, we can recover. If they move into India, we can have a 50-50 crack with Indo-Pakistani war on it. And then we can take Taiwan to redominate. So we know they've got blockade and defectors. We can't use an intervention D-style immediately in case they purge us and then blockade us. So kind of want to see some more unknown cards first before we do anything particularly silly. There's a VP for us, very nice. So they're flipping, which is, you know, their prerogative, I guess. So we are going to tip the fact that we do not hold a scoring card. Which is unfortunate, but we can crack on. So, I mean, we'll just need to make sure we stay ahead in Europe and Asia. Muslim Revolution is very problematic for us, but we'll see how we manage. We do need to take Mexico ahead of Junta, Liberation Theology, etc. Now, if they tap Burma, we can just take India. We can challenge them. Because the problem, I've only just twigged because I'm an idiot. We can't UN intervention something because then if they blockade us, we lose our AL6. So we will just We will. Let's put 2 in India and challenge them to use the China card on it. And if they do, we'll use Indo-Pakistani War to get Milops. Might be in the rare occasion here under containment of using Captured Nazi to take a battleground, which is worth the VP not spacing achieves. Because we're going to have to space decol anyway. Do you feel lucky? If you pour the China card into India, I will absolutely have my Indo-Pakistani War crack on it. Because I've always got Taiwan as a fallback. Let's see what they make. So we know they've got blockade. We don't know what the other 3 cards are. They are going for it. Oh, respect. They are not going for it. They're doing that instead. Okay, that's unfortunate. So we can take Thailand within a Pakistani war, but we give up Milops in doing so. But we do... interesting one. Ooh, interesting. Give up 2 VP, but keep hold of Thailand and the China card. Nah, that's fine. Feels strange, but I'm doing that, and then I can always follow it up with whatever they do next. They'll probably have another crack on Thailand, which would be right, because they are 5. So maybe they won't blockade. They know we've got decol D-star on the card. Oh boy, boy, oh boy, oh boy. They really want it. Okay, so we will use Capture Nazi. Take India. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll take Malaysia as well. Weird. Weird. Well, at least we got the China card. Let's see what they do to finish. They probably won't bother blockading us under containment, right? So we just space a card. But they do well to cause some havoc somewhere instead. That was a good turn from him. Very well played. But if we can hold those battlegrounds in Asia and take Taiwan, we're still dominating. So they've invested a lot of effort. If they don't drop Asia scoring right now, we've actually come out all right under the circumstances. So yeah, I expect to see an attack here rather than a blockade. I would love them to blockade. That would do me a favor because it's very, very tempoless for them. I expect they'll tap India, tap Japan, fill Panama, maybe even move into Colombia. They know we can't coup, but that seems unlikely. Yep, just going for it. Overprotect, move. Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's not shabby. Not shabby at all. Well done. Good turn. Well played. All right, Europe scoring is great. Colonial Rear Guards is nice because we can get to Nigeria. Nuclear substrate diplomacy, OPEX, probably a space card. Not bad. Again, no complaints. Maybe colonial rear guards is the headline, so then when they coup Nigeria, we can coup Colombia. U2 incident flower power. We don't have a war card, so that's fine. Nuclear subs. OPEC. Your CRG, Arab Israel, Europe UT flower power, nuclear subs. Shuttle dip. Shuttle dip is interesting to me, but not as interesting as colonial rear guards, which I'm just going to go for. They're still doing blockade, but that doesn't bother us at all. Arab-Israel war is also flimsily playable. Because it's basically 50-50, 2 mil ops. We're basically giving up at least a VP of equity. Maybe more. Oh, wants the China card back. Interesting. I'll allow it. Annoying. So we've got OPEC and D-Style to ditch to blockade. So in a pinch, we have to event OPEC when we space Arab-Israeli war, but I think spacing Arab-Israeli war and then trying to space another 3-up card is not a bad move. If we get Europe away, we're laughing, and we can coup Colombia and set up a bit of call and response on the couing. UN intervention is gone, so U2 incident is just worth AVP. So I expect they'll coup Nigeria here. They might coup Angola. Angola at least threatens South Africa, because they can always flip Nigeria, and we do kind of have to coup Colombia as quickly as possible. But a lot of our, because we had such a strong turn 1 and 2, a lot of this is just weathering the storm, right? If we don't get controlled in Central America, between leveling Asia and dominating Europe, we're probably just keeping our nose in front. So yeah, I expect to see a coup in Angola or Nigeria, all things being equal. Okay, looks like they might jam Asia instead. I don't know, just... Oh, very nice, very nice. They just want to stock up in South America. So do we want a 4-up coup on Venezuela is the question. What are our chances of success? 1 in 3 times we control. Half the time we get access. I think a response is required. And now is the time to do it before they drop a presence list domination in South America or something. So let's give it a go. We can dare to dream. Oh, and how we dream. We are the dreamers of dreams. As famously quoted by Willy Wonka. Although that's probably a reference to someone else. Hold on. Coming up in a pub quiz one day. It is a poem by the English poet Arthur O'Shaughnessy, 1873. Roald Dahl knows his business, does he not? Alright, so we want to do a bunch of things, don't we? Let's move into Brazil ahead of Brush War and take Nigeria. So grain sales to space, very wise, and we ditch you too. So what else do I want to do? I want to take Mexico. I want to get Europe scoring off. Space Arab-Israeli war, because we can always tap Iraq. Well, there we go. Everyone's learning today. So what? Yeah, liberation theology is really bad for us. I think taking Mexico is a must. See, shuttle diplomacy is just less attractive. Oh, nice. They get to space twice. That was very wise of them. Good work. They are off to the races. Yeah, I'm gonna take Mexico before Europe scoring, just because although I don't think they have liberation theology, given all the spacing they've done. Yeah, I don't think they have libthe based on the spacing they've done, but they probably wanted to rush to space to know to stop me doing the same. So blah blah blah. I've just done it. Yeah, shuttle diplomacy is less exciting to me when I can just use it to take Taiwan and dominate that way. And we're unlikely to make the best of it in the Middle East. So just, yeah, using the ops is probably better. So drop Europe scoring, space Arab-Israeli war, tap Iraq and use OPEC op somewhere, maybe Taiwan, and get blockaded. I mean, if I'm really lucky, they'll use Camp David sometime this turn, and I get free ops and can space OPEC instead, but I think that's wishful thinking. Okay. Well, let's soften those up. Always, always, always. Let's drop Europe scoring. I'm not too worried about Central America yet. So we know they have blockade, and then they have 3 unknown cards. So shuttle dip 3 into Taiwan. I quite like. Is special relationship in the deck? It is. And now special relationship is triggerable. They can just use it to tap the UK if they get it, but if we get it, it's 2 free VP, which is nice. Whoever gets Hunter and ABM is a big swing in the game. We doubly don't want to give Arab-Israeli war now because that also gives them the mill-ops for the turn. And at the moment, they can't get any the old-fashioned way. So let's see what they got up their sleeve for the rest of this turn. China card again, so they'll ram a jam. Okay. We'll just retake India here. Now the question is, do we give 3 VP up with OPEC to dominate in Asia by taking Taiwan? Because, like, domination's worth 4 VP. So we give up 3 VP to gain 4 VP. We still have net positive, right? It's a weird question. I think the answer is no. I think we've got time to deal with that. Although, if we space Arab-Israeli war, we have to use OPEC. And tapping Iraq to drop it to 2 VP from 3 isn't as efficient as dominating, right? So, yeah, maybe I just do it. All right, awesome stuff. That's impeccable timing. And they've given up the China card again. It's a good thing Indo-Pakistani war is gone. But that's a result for us, because we can now use Arab-Israeli war cleanly. Just going to check I've been tracking properly. Now's a good time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 9, 3, 6, 9, 18 in the discard and 18, 16? 17, 17. Okay, so one of them, Camp David is removed. Yeah, doy. All right, we're up to speed. So that is a great result for us. We can now space OPEC. They got to blockade us to get rid of D-Star. I'm not giving it up from my cold, dead hands. And then with Arab-Israeli war, okay, we can tap South Korea, can't we? I do want to discard. You beauty. That looks good. So Junta, Central America scoring ABM are really big here. We got Brush War, so we can respond to them doing something horrible, but we can't act on it. Panama, Brezhnev, Brush War, Willie Arms. Lads, Independent Reds, Quagmire, Kitchen Debates. Lads, Indie Reds, Quagmire, and Kitchen Debates. How far up are we? -1, even, up 2, up 1, up 2, up 3. I mean, Kitchen Debates might be the headline here. Panama's boring. Brush War we want to respond to. Independent Reds is boring. Yeah, let's do Kitchen Debates. Brush War, sadly, we give up Flower Power Ops. Oh, hey, BM. That can swing Kitchen Debates. If they just coup, we're up 1, right? So it still triggers. Good. But this puts us in a very, very sore spot in South America. We'll start by cooing Colombia if they don't coup Venezuela, because we absolutely don't want them to realign us. But this is problematic. And we can still bring out the Brush War at some point. 2 VP for us. Let's hope for a bad coup. That's a very good coup. All right, so we will lads coup Colombia. First and foremost. Oh, terrible result. Let's see if they move back in there from Panama. Right, we need to be wary of South Africa unrest and all that stuff. Willie, we can play and not worry about West Germany being broken. Let's see. What's likely? Move into Colombia again. Event something in South Africa. Retake South Korea is quite possible. Ooh, that's rough. We can at least repair it, can't we? So, arms race and pop one in South Africa. Yep. Libthi arms race. So AR7 Brezhnev, Quagmire to space, event brush war at some opportune point, giving up 2VP. Panama's now very juicy. It's of course 66%. Retake Korea? Yes. Oh, and move back into Colombia. Very sensible. So we will coup Colombia again. Much better result. NORAD space is very good. And they're peaking. I quite like here. Now let's brush war. And let's take our 66 on Panama now. Awesome. So that means they no longer dominate. We have given them access to Uruguay to the rest of South America, but I think we have to be circumspect and settle on the places we're currently being dominated in, rather than try and clear them out for presenceless domination. Make a red board more blue and all that. So AR7 Brezhnev 3 into Taiwan. We could go Willy 1 South Africa, 1 Sudan to dominate in Africa. That's always very likely to fail, I guess. So yeah, let's do this. Or do we want Sudan or do we want Saharan states? I think we want Saharan states, right? So that seems fine. Another crack. Okay, crack somewhere else. They've used Korean War, haven't they? And I've missed it. Yeah. Fool me. So we can have a counter coup, and if we counter coup in Cameroon, we can try and realign Zaire. So just tamping down the regions, try and keep the scoreline blue, try and stay ahead. Where's this going? Very sensible. I'm going to allow it. I'm going to respond by dominating somewhere else. Very precarious. Let's see, if I get Hunter, I'm laughing. Hunter would be great. Alas, no. Now, they are headline peaking. So we can't missile envy, because if they have we will bury and duck and cover, we lose. Alliance Salt, Cuban Muslim Missile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what is, if we do Asia scoring, can they do anything? I don't believe they can. Let's have a quick look at the deck. ABM's gone, Brush has gone, Vietnam Revolts has gone, Decol has gone, D-Star has gone. I've got Salt, so they can't fish it out. So I think Asia is safe to play. So I think we'll do it while we can. Oh, lone gunman, of course. But one op, one, two. No, one op doesn't go anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, in Afghanistan makes 6. So no. So that gets us to 15. If nothing changes, alliance gets us to 18. So how can we get 2 more VP? Is a question, which I think the answer is we can't. Special relationship? Yeah, there's Hunter. So I don't think we're getting over the line this game, right? This turn. Very nice. Well played. Now I think we're really not getting over the line this turn. This turn yet. But we're still looking alright. So until we see duck and cover, we can't safely miss LMV. So that means we're likely being dominated in a bunch of places now, which is regrettable. Alright, so that means they're nervous about Africa. Or it's just a straightforward event. But if they have South Portuguese Empire crumbles as well, we can use salt to retake Angola and Sudan. Okay, they don't use it for the event. That's quite sensible. Ooh, at the end of the turn, we could do the 5 VP how I learned, potentially. But yeah, Alliance only being worth 2 VP is a bit miserable. Oh well, no space for us. That might have been a bit tempo negative, but couldn't really see what to do on the board immediately. So we'll see if they drop a scorer here. Oh, I'm being very dense about the Middle East. I now use Alliance to take Israel, right? I'd forgotten about Camp David. Africa's worth 4. If we miss all of the America scoring this turn, we could finish the game with how I learned, potentially. That gets them 2 VP. Well done. Right, so we will level up in Israel. To be expected. We'll drop Middle East for 0. What do we want here? I think we want to make a mess of South America. I think double tapping Panama's less fun than Access. Jam Chile. Miss this promising? Unbelievable. So we counter coup. What are you pitching? Is it Africa scoring? It is. You sly dog. We'll finish taking Chile. Well done. So that is several points they've saved on 2 different 5-year plans. But we've still managed to keep the scoreline up, which is good, I guess. All right, this is risky. Risky to Allende, risky to Venezuela coup, but I think we're going to have to do what we do. Let's go with it. So duck and cover is unplayable while peeking, because we will bury you, but we have Allende. So they can't do anything about us dropping South America scoring for 0. Unless they were dealt something in the reshuffle. But let's work that out. We got to special relationship duck and cover, so they've got Central America. Now that isn't great for us, but we have got Voice America to hopefully repair some of that. They've definitely got We Will Bury You. One Small Step, Sadat, Emit, Ask Not, Bear Trap, and Yasuri, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. Central America, we've got, I'm being stupid, they've got We Will Bury You, One Small Step, Emit, Sadat, Ask Not, Bear Trap, Yasuri. 2 unknown cards. So we're hoping they're not ABM, Hunter, blah, blah, blah. Let's gamble and drop South America scoring in the headline. Very chancy, right? Very, very chancy. But dropping DEFCON, we get realigned. So what can they have? Hunter and ABM and Brush, right? Are the cards that can come back in the reshuffle to cause trouble for us. Let's take a gamble. They were only dealt 2 out of the reshuffle. Yeah. Let's see if we can get it away clean. They're having a think. So I quite like eventing Che here because Cameroon's the only clean option. South Africa unrest, that's annoying but manageable. Going big. Oh, ouch. So we can repair Mexico. We can overprotect Angola, and we'll worry about South Africa in a minute, right? Because we want to hold VOA a bit longer. Yep, true, 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 true. Still sucks. That is fine, right? Yeah. Seven cards, yeah. So they've got one small step, Amit, Sadat, Arsenal, Bear Trap, and Isuri. And one other card. Very blue hand. So I might reasonably have to yield Central America for 4 VP. Don't see a way of dealing with it. Don't really have the cards for a coup war. But we'll hold the China card. Frankly, now that we got South America off for even, I feel like we're only losing here to lone gunmen, so holding the China card is our way to make sure we don't lose. Now's the time. Yes. Well done. Speculative one on Mexico at -1. Okay, that's good for us. Right, we need mill-ops for the turn, so let's coup Colombia and see if we can get a flashy 5 or a 6. Yeah, ridiculous. That will force them to play into Venezuela or counter coup Colombia. Emit's great. Let's see what we can get out of the deck. Come on, Lone Gunman. D-Style. OPEC. Captured Nazi because it's just as likely to help them or more because of the VP spaces they're racing to. So what's next for us? Events, special relationship, and take 2 VP? So they've got Sadat, Arsenal, Bear Trap, Missouri, one other card. Okay, that's the one for space, is it? So, we need to think about sequencing our hand. Whole day and day. So we'll space Muslim Rev here. Are you going to bear trap yourself, my good man? That's the question. Because you could chuck Arsenal in the bear trap, but I've got time to voice of America you and mess with those plans. Yeah, their hand sequencing is very difficult here. Yep, so that's great. So now we can Che. Oh no, Che's bad now because of Colombia. I think we just have to eat it. South America's only going to score one more time. So Colombia, Cameroon, but we can retake South Africa. We dominate. So if they trap themselves, we voice of America and then drop Central America for 0. If they don't bear trap themselves, then they can't use Arse Not, and they have to use their other card. So if they Arse Not, we pitch Central America, so they don't want to do that. If they trap ourselves, we event VOA and then do Central America on AR7. So I think we're about to find out what their 7th card is. Their last card. Their unknown card. Having a think. Salt. Okay. Okay, so they have to bear trap themselves. AR. Where else did they go? Libya and Egypt, yeah. Alright, so we can reduce Argentina. And we need to make sure they don't tap us. So Mexico. And now they have to use bear trap to retake Cuba and Argentina. So they get their 4 VPs, but they're in the trap for AR1. I mean, that's a pretty rough trade-off. But they can pitch Arsenal, so they're not unhappy about that. Alright, can we fade Lone Gunman? That's the question for the late war. Self-trap, as expected. Okay, well, we eat 4 VP. Regrettable, but manageable. Oh, War Games, you beauty. War Games and grain sales. The key question is, do you have terrorism or Aldrich? Purge is fine. That'll be the game. Take a card, coup, War Games while they're in the trap. To Argentina. Coup Argentina. War games for the win. Okay, let's end this. All right, awesome. I will finish talking to my opponent, but I'll leave you for the rest of the day. Thanks for coming by. Feedback always welcome, and I will see you again soon. But until then, I bid you a good day and see you soon. Bye for now.